Hi everyone, welcome to Modern Homegirl. It's a girl, Emmy.
And it's a girl, Lex. It is episode 46, and we remembered this time.
I didn't. Well, welcome to today's episode. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for returning as always. And if you're new, thank you so much for tuning in for today's episode. So today's episode, we'll be talking about our series, Dear Nobody, and we'll be discussing a submission that got submitted from one of our listeners. Super excited to do this because it's our very first time to finally do this Dear Nobody series, and the story is quite long, so and it's quite heavy, on emotions and topics and stuff. So we're very excited to discuss this episode.
Yeah, definitely. We do want to create a segment with this too, but the reason why we're doing this individual's story and experience is because it is very long. We split it up to 10 paragraphs.
Yes.
And so Emmy and I were going to be taking turns reading a paragraph. And after the second one, we're going to just like debrief on it and discuss on it. And this story was submitted like a few months ago.
Yes.
And so it's very long overdue that we are just finally now discussing it. So yeah, I'm excited as well to talk about this. I don't know, I may get a bit emotional because I feel like we all can resonate with this. So yeah, I guess let's jump
Let's
in.
get started.
Are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay. All right. And I guess I will just say like trigger warning for any like mental health and
I think like abuse and stuff is mentioned too. So
yes, definitely. Okay, so here's the first paragraph. I grew up as an angry daughter. Oh, and I'm so sorry. Let's also introduce her. Her name is Victoria. That is what she put on the submission, and this is her story.
thank you so much for submitting. Truly
Yes.
appreciate it.
Okay, so here we go. I grew up as an angry daughter. During my teenage years, I was angry at the world, angry at my parents, and angry at God. I was someone quick to anger, and I didn't know where it was coming from. My relationship with my mom was a bit dysfunctional. A lot of the resentment I had towards her came from my childhood that carried into my teen years. It came from feeling abandoned, always being compared, not feeling loved, etc. My father was very abusive towards my mom, physically, mentally, verbally, and sexually. Sometimes he was verbally and physically abusive towards me and my siblings. During my childhood, a lot of the abuse was shielded and unknown at the time. To be completely honest, I have a hard time remembering memories and things from my childhood and some in my teen years.
During my teen years, with being the second oldest daughter, it was a lot harder for my father to hide his abuse from my younger siblings. He was a ticking time bomb, having to tiptoe around his anger off and on throughout my teen years. Me and my older sister did my best to protect my mom and younger siblings, often having my father's anger directed towards us. My mom did a lot to protect us from my father's anger. We did our best trying to shield them and make them understand what my father was doing was not how a father should act. At the time, I didn't understand why my mom still wanted to stay with my father, why she never told anyone he was abusive, and why she would never let us speak out about him. I was angry at her, angry at my uncles and aunties for not speaking up.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
I know that was a lot. And within like the Hmong community, abuse is something that goes on a lot, and it's something that is never really spoken about because, like how we always say, we're told to they, and we hate that word. Okay, don't they when someone is abusing you physically, mentally, emotionally, like, are you gonna wait until something happens to finally be able to leave this person? And I want to say, like, truly, truly, deeply from the bottom of my heart, so sorry that you had to experience that growing up. And like you said, when you go through a lot of traumatic things as a child, you do kind of black out those memories, so you don't remember much of your childhood, and you're like, how come I have like blank memories, or I don't remember much of my childhood. It's because of the trauma that you went through, because you didn't want yourself to remember it, so you deleted that out of your life, right? And i I hope that you've really like sat with the trauma and healed through it, and I think part of the healing is already you submitting this story and letting,
Mm-hmm.
telling us about it. And again, truly appreciate you being so vulnerable and sharing this story. And please, y'all, stop abusing your loved ones. If you claim that you love a person, why are you continuously like abusing them? I just don't freaking understand. I
Mm-hmm.
hate abusers. And like, I just feel like once an abuser, always an abuser. They'll never stop, And I really hope that if, you are someone that is a victim of abuse, you truly do try to find that help for yourself and try to find that love for yourself, your family, and I mean, like your kids, Like I understand when when individuals say things like, "Oh, it's because of like my kids that I'm still staying with this person," but truly, like you want the best for your kids. You don't want your kids to grow up in a broken home. You don't want your kids to grow up also getting abused and also experiencing what you're experiencing and thinking it's normal to, hit someone that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emmy said it all. I agree 100%. I feel like this has been such a conditioned behavior in our Hmong culture, and it's been going on for generations, like ever since our motherland, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And even if we're here in America, to be honest, it doesn't change if they are not willing to change. And I think a lot of it is definitely from ignorance, and also that they just love to have that power. Because like they know that they can have that power over you no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. Like if you are constantly gonna always be there for them and come back to them, they already know that you have given them that, like they already know that you will choose them over yourself
Mm-hmm.
time and time and again. And I just feel like, reading this entire story, I just resonate with it so much. And it's just sad that we all can resonate with it. Like we all have an experience like this. It may be personal or it may be from like another sister, aunt, friend. And it's saddening. Like we shouldn't even have this many stories like this, but we do, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay, let's start with the next paragraphs. Growing up Christian, my pastor would always end church service praying to God for the father to love the mother. I spent countless of nights praying to God to make my father change, to make him love us again, and to make him stop hurting my mom. My father's abuse went on, but not as frequently until COVID hit. My mom also got very sick with her health during this time from 2020 to 2022. Even in her early sickness, she suffered abuse from my father. During COVID, we all did our best to protect each other from his abuse that sometimes came from out of nowhere. Me, my younger siblings, and my mom got to grow close together without my father during this time. We would do activities such as walking, visiting family, and doing small road trips together. I came to understand more about my mom, and she did with me. In 2021, things felt a bit better at home.
My mom was focused on getting better and her health was looking good. During late into 2021, when I was 20 years old, I had moved out. At first, I loved it. I could focus on myself. I had my own room and had fun, but I was super homesick. I also felt guilty for leaving my mom and younger siblings when learning my father was still being physically and verbally abusive time to time. I missed my mom's cooking and my siblings. I was depressed and sad. I would visit home once every other weekend, making a 25-minute drive there and back. I told my mom when my lease was up in spring, I would come move back home with her because I had missed them. There were many moments of regret that would and still always stick with me, but one I clearly remember was my mom asking to come over with my siblings And when she did, I could tell something had happened. She sat on my bed on the floor, looking very small and stressed.
Honestly, props to the mom. Like the mom, she went through it, and while she was stressed, or while she was sick,
Yeah.
like oh my God, to be sick and to also take in abuse is just
And have children and still
yeah.
having like a strong face in front of them, it's
Mhm.
like so much strength, so much resilience. And I I love that. I love the resiliency, but I want us to have the resiliency for the correct things, like
Mhm.
not for the abuse and
Right.
all the bad things.
Yeah, like she is a very strong mother. She's a very
Mm-hmm.
strong person, but it definitely takes a lot of strength to also leave
Leave.
your
Mm-hmm.
abuser, leave your partner that is definitely hurting you, but that is the hardest thing to do, right? At the end of the
Yes.
day, because
Yes.
you have been with this person for so long, and so you have this emotional connection, physical connection, kind of like, to be honest, a soul tie to this person. So it's like, how do you leave them even if they do hurt you, but they claim that they love you, but it just doesn't.
That
Yeah,
manipulation.
yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't add up. Okay, so going more into the story, I had asked my two younger sisters through text, and they told me she caught my father texting other girls from Laos. I stepped out of my room and silently cried for her. I've always hated crying because whenever I did, my father would tell us to stop crying or he would give us a reason to cry. I've stepped back inside my room, and on the tip of my tongue, I wanted to tell her I loved her. I couldn't say it. It wasn't normal in our family to express love. It felt foreign, and I didn't want her to know I was hurt for her. She was ready to leave, and so I let her walk out. My mom passed away unexpectedly because of her health in spring of 2022. I felt hollow. I still remember vividly about the phone call I received. I was grieving for the younger version of myself and my mom. At that time, I felt more than anger. I felt hatred, deep rooted hatred that my body festered and survived on.
I had hatred towards my father for tormenting her till her death and having the audacity to mourn. I hated myself for being a bad, ungrateful daughter, for not speaking out, and for not doing a lot of things that I should have done. I hated others for seeing the signs and not being brave enough to call him out, to ask my mom those questions. I hated the Hmong community for making abuse feel normal and for it to being a touchy subject. I hated that she never felt a sense of community because of him. I hated and lost faith in God for taking her away and for leaving him with us, wondering why her and not him. Why did God still continue to let us suffer? I was lost in grief and hatred. I believe losing my mom was my karma. During the past 4 years, she has been gone. I've done a lot of relearning, grieving, and trying my best to heal. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. It took me a while to come into terms that maybe my mom's passing was her own peace. And as much as I hate it, I have to accept it. I've learned that the circumstances I had growing up would make me an angry daughter. I almost cried, y'all.
No, I'm getting emotional too. Like,
Um, wow. Uh, I don't know what to say.
I know, it's just like,
Honestly, I truly, truly hope that you don't blame yourself. You were so young. We didn't have the right teachings growing up. We weren't taught that if your mother is getting abused by a father, you need to report it. We weren't taught any of that. So we can, like, don't blame yourself, please. And I think you did the best you could for your mother, and you were there for her when she needed it. Like when she wanted to come over to your apartment and you let her come, you were there for her. And like I think being there to support your mother was already the strength that she needed. And no matter how hard it is, and I know we always blame. We're always like, why do you take the good people away and leave the bad people? Cause sometimes that's still something that I get angry about. Why do you take the good people away when there's so many bad people that deserve to go to hell? But why are you
Mm-hmm.
taking our amazing loved one to heaven when they could be with us? You
Yeah.
know, and I feel like that's an answer that we would never know, right? Because,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, it's God's plan, and when it's their time to go, the tao non tao how the how whatever the Hmong people say that, and then they just leave.
Yeah.
And I, like you said at the very end, I am happy that you're relearning and like working through that trauma and healing again, because I think that is so much needed. And with your mother passing as well, so much healing, so much grief, and you're also so, so, so strong.
Period. And I just want to add too that, yeah, the good people, they do get taken away more than bad people, but that's because that's God's people. And the bad people, that's the devil's people. And the devil always has a plan for bad people, for his people, you know. And so that's why I feel like the stories between the good people in your life and the bad people in your life, it it will always, I don't know how to say this, but basically, you know, the devil's people, that's their plan. And then God's people, that's their plan, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I don't I don't even know where I'm going with this at all right now.
But it's like she
I
said, maybe her mother's passing was her piece. So,
Yes. Yeah. Like when she said that part, I was like, that is so true because I guess she felt like she was so stuck where maybe she was like, I know that I probably can't leave this person too because I've been so conditioned with being with this person and this behavior that the only thing that was going to bring her peace was her passing. And it does sound really sad to say that. And we obviously don't want that to be the answer, right? We don't want death to be the answer, but maybe for her, it was her answer to go to. Because honestly, if this were to happen to me, I would think of it like this as well. I would be like, you know what? Her passing was her peace. Like
mm-hmm.
she finally is at rest and she's no longer fighting. She's no longer depressed. She's no longer holding these feelings on her shoulder where she cannot express or tell anyone or even feel safe. So, yeah. At the time, I was hurt to find elders talking how bad of a daughter I was at my mom's funeral. But who wouldn't be a bad daughter? Having to live each day angry at someone who people would still make excuses for till this day. Who wouldn't be a bad daughter when I never had a voice, never could express myself without being hurt? Who wouldn't want to lash out? Who wouldn't be angry? Who wouldn't have the injustice I had? Who could live with the guilt and anger of having to be a parent when you're still a child? They never knew what happened behind the closed, tattered door. And they would never understand the type of pain and suffering we had to go through. The trauma that embedded itself into my bones to this day. I'm still learning how to forgive my dad, but that's a whole other story.
I'll try to forgive, but never forget. He has scarred me and my siblings deeply. The constant deep rooted hidden fear of what if he snaps to this day. And the everyday living in survival still connects through us deeply. The version of parents I grew up with is different to the way my younger siblings had them. Still, we've all lost our childhood and our mom in his hands. And I would say we did lose our mom because of him. He had chipped away her soul and body day by day till he could no longer hold on. A feeling like that will never go away, no matter how much people can tell us that he is still our dad. I've encouraged my younger siblings to focus on their own dreams and future, to learn how to say we care and love each other openly. Honestly, That's one thing I very, very much dislike about the Hmong community. Why are you always gapping your mouth when you don't know what's going on? Like, seriously, stop gossiping about other people's
Yeah.
life. Like, girl, like, that just gets me so irritated, you know? Like, there's so many different narratives because you keep making up a narrative and
Hmm.
that keeps just getting passed on and on and on. And why are you blaming a child when you
Yeah.
should be blaming the one that was abusing the mother, you know?
Hmm.
Like, what do you expect? How do you expect kids to grow up when they grow up in an environment that was bad?
Yeah.
I just I something also, like, you know how when kids grow up an orphan, they blame the kid for like being an orphan. I
Hmm.
don't get that. And that's like the
Yeah.
same concept. Like, why are you blaming the child for growing up in a bad household because you couldn't hold your elder accountable?
Yeah.
You know? That just gets me so pissed off.
Exactly.
But girl, I give you props because you're still choosing to be positive, you know, to be like a parent to your younger siblings and trying to
Hmm.
lead them to have a successful and amazing life. And that takes so much strength and so much courage. And truly, like I said again already, you are so, so strong, so resilient. And I hope that, you know, the love that you're giving to your siblings, you're also giving to yourself as well. And like we say, always giving yourself the grace because we always need it. And it was a tough upbringing, so give yourself
Hmm.
grace even if things don't work out, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
on days when you break down, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, I feel like you don't even have to forgive your dad. And I know that may be harsh to say, but to be honest, like, I mean, I don't blame you. Like, shit, I would not forgive my dad too. But yes, acknowledging that he is your dad and maybe you have some type of love for him. Maybe it's like a love hate relationship or something. But I think just acknowledging that he's your dad, you know. And I guess I'll just also say, like, I come with father issues as well. I have like fatherless behavior too. So I could really resonate with this. And a part of me and me sharing this part of myself is very vulnerable because, like, I don't want to like spread any hatred or I don't want to spread like resentment and promote this feeling, you know, this negativity. But I just very much resonate with you. And I just want to let you know that at the end of the day, like, I don't want to say, like, oh, yeah, he's your dad, like, family is family. But just, I guess, acknowledging that, you know, you're a blessing and without him, you wouldn't be here. But then again, like, the things that he have done to you and your family is just like, so it's like a constant battle with yourself. But I think at the end of the day, choose love, choose kindness. And I feel like that's what you're doing because you are still trying to forgive him. And I think that that is already a step with growing yourself and letting that negativity inside of you just melt away, even though it's so hard because every single time you see him you will always probably be reminded, right? And then that
Mm-hmm.
hatred will probably come back.
Yeah.
But to be honest, at the end of the day, when they are old and they are withering away, they just don't have that power that they used to anymore. And to be honest, when they are like that, they probably hella reflect on their life and they're like, oh my gosh, I remember all the terrible things that I've
I don't know, some
done.
people are just evil and they don't care too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. That's why I be praying. I'm like, please don't turn out like that. Like, I'm just like, please, like, when I guess when you're old, you can have like a conversation with me or something, you know, and not be mute, I guess, you know. So I hope that when they get to that stage, at least they can open up and have a heart to heart conversation with you, kind of like closure, you know, giving you that peace. But that's just something that we hope for, right? And we may never get that at the end of the
mm-hmm.
day, but I think it's just really important to be very aware of having that clarity within you that you know that having hatred towards this person is not the answer.
Yeah, like the saying that they always say, right? You don't forgive them for them, you forgive them for yourself,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because if you continue to hold the hatred in you, it's hatred is like such a, not a sickness, but it's something that really
It's icky.
yeah, it's icky and you don't feel good, hating. It takes a lot of energy to hate on someone your whole life. And just because you forgive them doesn't mean that, like you said, you don't forget. You forgive them because you want that peace for yourself. You forgive them so you can finally feel free. And once that happens, I feel like they no longer hold that power over you. They don't hold that power over you once you acknowledge and you're aware and you're like fuck you, like fuck, I've forgiven and still fuck you though. Like, I feel like there's a clear line on like forgiving but not forgetting, and I'm still gonna be like, even I forgive you, you don't hold no space in my life. Like, because when you hate, that means they still hold a place in your heart.
That is so true. And that's why never give them that part of yourself.
Yes, they don't deserve it. They fucking don't deserve it.
Exactly. They don't even deserve an ounce of your energy. All right, we are down to the last two paragraphs. To encourage my younger sisters to never rely on a man, but to focus on themselves. I've recently just made my way back to God. I've also come to understand my own initial feelings I had towards my mom during childhood and teen years. Like me, she was also in survival mode. She was also trying her best to support 6 kids. She had dreams and a future different from what she imagined. She was a girl like me before she got married young. Maybe she could have, or maybe she couldn't have shown her love to me in a way because she too never understood what it felt to be loved by someone the right way. Still, she held love for my dad. She was someone who held grace and forgiveness.
Someone who loved unconditionally, someone who checked in with my family members daily. Some days it's easy to talk about her, and some days it's hard to even think about her. Sometimes I wish she was here so I can show her the version of me that isn't angry anymore. Someone who can finally and freely say, I love you, Mom. I live with regret each passing day. I hope that her next life she will truly be happy and finish her dreams. That she won't have to be a mother, but as a woman with her own name. I love that, as a woman with her own name.
First off, like, we just want to say we're so sorry for your loss of your mother. After reading your experience, your story, we can really see where you get your strength from is honestly from your mom. And just how highly you talk about her, we already know that's us Hmong women right there. Like, oh my God. See, this is why, like, we just have so much strength and resilience in the way that we just talk about each other and the stories that we hear of each other too. We just know that we really are. And that's it. We just really are. Period. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, just want to reiterate again the strength it takes to really go through this and still be such a loving, caring person. Like I truly like envy that. Like, girl, you made it. Like, and I just want to say your mom knows you love her. And it's hard, of course, when the person's no longer there, but like they always say, they want you to be happy, even if they're not here. As cliche as it sounds, truly, I feel like that's what they would want, And I want to say, I'm so proud of you.
Period.
Yeah, and I hope you continue to thrive, continue to always do better for you, give that love to you because you deserve that love so much, and your siblings too. And I think that, your siblings are truly so thankful to have you because you're trying to help them and lead them in the right way. So that's why we're going to break all this generational trauma, all this stuff, right?
Yeah, and no more curses.
No more. And yeah.
It starts with us.
Yes.
Or we know it ends with us. I'm dead. Whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does end with us. I think that it does take a gigantrous, enormous amount of strength to be aware and realize that this is not the life that we want. This is not the life that we chose, but this was a life that was conditioned. And I am saying conditioned a lot because like if you really look at the way we do things, it is because of that condition that has been going on. And it will feel weird if we didn't do it right. And so that's why it's like we really have been conditioned to live this way where we always uphold the male status. And even if they do something wrong, there will always be a blind eye. And honestly, like speaking from my personal experience too, like there was an uncle that had wronged like me, but yet he was still being invited to family events. And it's like, what the hell? No one cared about my feelings. No one validated. They would just be like, oh, we don't know what happened. Like, what? No. Like, they will basically act like nothing happened. And basically just like relating this back to your dad with what he did to your mom, it's like they will always turn that blind eye for that status, for that reputation, although they don't even have real status or reputation. Like, I'm sorry, you still live Section 8 and you have like 5 points at work. You're about to get fired. The fuck? Like, honestly, I don't care, you know? Like, and I'm not trying to like degrade them because like they are poor or whatever, but I'm just saying like they're not even doing anything like to better themselves. So that's why they just stay like that. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you know that you could be doing better in your life, but you don't. You you progress it to worsen it. Like you just become this monster that everybody protects because of reputation, status, and that condition in our culture. And
Yeah.
it's disgusting.
Toponjamor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time to start holding the abusers accountable
Yes.
and make them, is the law. Just call the cops at this point.
Exactly.
Like, I just get so angry when people turn blind eye, and I know that it's up to the person themselves to really help themselves, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if something is happening, you know, reach out and help. Yeah.
Right. Like we
How?
are we're done with these injustices,
Yes.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
We have to bring them to light
Mm-hmm.
even though like we we have okay, again, we have been conditioned to protecting them. Like we
Mm-hmm.
always want to protect them no matter what. We were always taught like, "Oh no, don't call 911." Like,
Yeah.
"No, it's
Yeah.
okay." Like
Yeah.
it it's family. It's family. Don't do that to your family. That means you don't love them. The fuck? Well, they are like I'm scared. Are they going to kill me? You know?
That's why we get conditioned to think love is like that, and we
Mhm.
grow up so fucked in the head. You
Yeah.
know, it's just because y'all keep doing things like this, and all like Lex said, we're just
Yes.
so conditioned to
Yeah.
situations like this that we can't differentiate what is actually right, what is wrong, what is love, what is not, what is abuse, what's not abuse. You know,
Yeah.
like it really starts from within. So y'all, like, please make the change.
We're conditioned to unconditional love. Yeah, like a toxic unconditional love. Basically, unconditional love is loving someone without any condition. You know, like no matter if they hurt you, no matter if they insult you, no matter if they degrade you, like you will still love that person. And I feel like that's also why Hmong women, we have such big hearts because we will just automatically love you even if you are a bad person, even if you go to jail, even if you go to prison, like we will be so for real delusional because we just have a big ass heart, you know? And again, that is back to being conditioned to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, again, like Hmong people or Hmong women, we are so strong, we are so loving, we are so kind. And this love that we have for people, it should be coming back within us, to
Yes.
us. We need to
Yes.
pour that back into
Yes.
ourselves. And I know it's hard. And you guys are probably thinking, like, how do I do that? How do I love myself? And honestly, I feel like in our generation, we've been doing really good with self love, but I feel like for more of the older generation, maybe they need to start learning how to do that, you know? And like example, my mom, she doesn't really pamper herself much because she's always on go mode. And so like I be telling her, I'm like, "Mom, instead of you buying all of these practical things, how about you go like treat yourself to like a spa day or get your nails done?" And then she would be like, "Oh, no, that's a waste of money." And I'm like, "Mom, come on. Like, it's not. You're going to feel so good after that." And so that's why I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I'm just going to book it for you and we're going to go." And like, that's
Mm-hmm.
the only opportunity where like she will actually go because we are doing it for her, you know? But I mean, I know my mom, she watches our podcast. So, Mom, yeah, you need to go treat yourself
Take care of
right
yourself,
now.
okay?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that sums it up for Dear Nobody today. And thank you so much, y'all, for tuning in. Thank you so much again, Victoria, for sending your submission and, allowing yourself to be vulnerable and sharing your story. We truly appreciate it again. You are so strong, and I hope that you continue to thrive in life, girl. Yeah. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure to rate our show, Madam Hunger, our podcast, and share, of course, the podcast. If you're on YouTube, make sure to give us a thumbs up and click the bell ding for a notification for when we release our episodes. And follow us on social media at Madam Hunger on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify.
Also, if you would like to be featured in our episodes as well, you can submit your own story. Or if you have a question for us, you can also submit a question for us on our Dear Nobody form, which will be linked below. You don't have to put your name, you can enter it as anonymous as well. And yeah, you'll be featured on the episode. So I guess that is all for today's episode. Thank you so much for sticking till the end, and we shall see
See
you
you soon,
soon,
girlies.
girlies.